The industry's been real different. There's a saying that during good times, during good economic times, banks are lending, the government's printing money, people getting subsidies and checks from the government, minimum wage is getting raised, people can work from home, people don't need to just take any job. Unemployment's kind of weird, but it's by choice. It's not because there aren't any jobs, right? Like I see people hiring left and right. You can't find help, right? And then there's a lot of tech jobs that are paying really, really well. Realtors, the mortgage companies, they did really well. So there's a lot of money going around, right? And there's a saying, when economy turns, and it always does, right? There's always a correction, that the guys that over leverage themselves, they got a little confident and made some bad moves, they're not really thinking long term or thinking what can disrupt me and what I got going on. And that's stoic, right? Stoic thinking is this way. I think the saying is, we'll see who's swimming with a bathing suit when the tide goes down. Hold on, let me check. All right, I'm not crazy. Warren Buffett said it. Only when the tide goes out do you learn who has been swimming naked. There you go. There, I ain't crazy. And so I'm thinking about all these barbers that are charging prices that you've never seen before, based on just feelings, based on just the idea that they feel they're worth better. They're not even booked. They're making good money because they're charging $80, $90, $100, $120, but they're not booked. You can check their calendars, and I'm not hating towards them. I'm just giving you guys a little bit of wisdom, some things to think about if you have aspirations to follow that model. You gotta be careful. Check the calendars. They're not book. They might be able to do 30 haircuts at $100 a piece, 20 haircuts a week at $100 a piece, still make $2,500, right? With tips, but they're nowhere near. And so if I'm thinking, what happens if a recession hits? I became a barber during the last recession we had in 2008, 2009 to 2012, when things started turning around. Ultimately, what I saw was barbershops were fine. Got a little bit of a scare. Few weeks it was a little bit slower, things picked up again. And the reason why I think it picked up and we didn't really get hurt by the recession was because a haircut was like the only thing during that time when like 20% of the marketplace lost their jobs or were collecting unemployment or were scared. The whole country was scared to spend money. That was the only thing that people could afford, not feel guilty they spent the money, that made them feel good. Very interesting. Today, there's a lot of barbers that are charging premium rates based on nothing because they're not booked. Sure, you can get 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 clients a week that'll pay you a bunch of money. My concern, and shout out to all the barbers that are doing that, right? I could be wrong. I'm perfect, right? I still have to think, and I do this with my businesses. What could disrupt me? Is the game saved? Because if there's a hole in my business, I could lose everything, or I can lose the opportunity to gain everything. If you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur that's building something, has a lot of risk involved with it, right? You lose sleep at night thinking about what happens to my business if this happens? What happens to my business if this happens to the economy, right? You have to be playing chess 5 moves ahead, thinking what can kill you. If you don't do that, something will kill you, right? You have to be proactive about this. I think about the guys who are charging premium rates, and I'm just thinking, man, a recession hits, and that's all you're hearing these days is doomsday, doomsday, doom. People could be wrong, but it's looking like something's off. How many of you guys have crazy car payments you shouldn't have got into and regretting it now because you was bored? You're underwater because all the car prices were inflated the last year and 2 years. Interest rates are high the last year. They're saying like the average person is paying $1,000 car payment these days. I couldn't fathom that. It's insane. I can't fathom it, right? Cost of living is getting really expensive everywhere. Taxes are higher than they've ever been for everyone. It was supposed to be only for the rich, right? Property taxes went up. Insurance rates went up for everybody in every aspect you can think of. People are getting squeezed, and all it's gonna take is for more banks to go under. Government can't print any more money because they've hit a debt ceiling. You ain't gonna be able to get bailed out on this one. High paying jobs are what's gonna get cut first. And a lot of people don't realize that. It's not just celebrities that are willing to pay premium prices, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of software engineers, real estate agents that were making bankers, that were making bank, no pun intended. A lot of high paying jobs that are going to be cut. Tech companies are going to cut. Growth companies are going to cut. These are companies that are operating just on debt, guys. They're not even profitable. They're going to cut. Banks, they're going to cut. There's not going to be any incentive for them to create debt. That's how banks make money, is through debt. And so I'm a bit concerned with you guys. And I've spoken to these type of barbers. I know what these type of barbers are, right? They don't want to go the smart, scalable route. They don't want a 3 to 5 year plan. They want a 1 year plan to charging $100 a cut. And although it's possible, how many people can actually do that? It's not duplicatable. It's not scalable. And as soon as a recession hits, I'm worried for you guys. What's wrong with making $150,000 a year, charging $50, $60 a cut, working 5 days a week? What's wrong with that? And doing it based on demand, doing it because you're booked. If you're not booked, why are you raising your price? I just don't understand. I never cared about how much somebody charges for a haircut. I care about what do you bring home? How much money are you making? How much are you investing? I could care less about how much you charge for haircuts. My barbers at my shops could care less. We have barbers that we charge $25 at our barbershops. And the reason why we do that is because that's market rates, and we got a lot of new guys that come in. We want them to eat. But as soon as they get booked, they can raise their prices. We got barbers that charge $100 too. Our average barbers probably charge $40-50 in Tampa, where the market rate is 25. So we have a lot of barbers that charge premium rates, but they followed a system. They got booked. And every time they increased their prices, they lost no client because they did it the right way. If a recession was to hit and they lost 30% of their clients, they would still be fine. But if you lose 30% of your clients and you only cut 20-30 heads a week, and you can right now because you charge 100, that's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt, guys. You see, when recessions happen, there's a thing called a transfer of wealth. The last recession that I experienced, I was not in a position to be able to take that opportunity. My credit was jacked. I had no money saved. I didn't have any tax returns, so I couldn't prove my income. I could not take advantage of that opportunity. You could have all that in order this time around, and if you lose half your income, all that charging $100 a haircut and stuff was for what? I thought the whole point was to attain financial freedom. Well, this is the best time possible when a recession hits to create that financial freedom for yourself. And you're not going to be able to play the game because you put on the wrong uniform. You showed up to the wrong park. You have to think 5 moves ahead. If you can follow a process where you're building your clientele, you're raising your prices in a healthy way, you got some delayed gratification, you got a plan. This is a 3 to 5 year plan, guys. And then a recession hits, you might lose 20-30% of your clients because people are going to stop spending, and you're at a premium rate at this point, maybe $40-50, $60, I don't know. But at least you'll still have a stable income, and you'll have everything else, all the other documents that you need, tax returns, your credit's great, all these things. Your income is still very healthy. You're still able to stack money, pay your bills, and now you can start buying real estate. You can start dropping buckets of money into the stock market because all the stocks are super cheap. And in 2 to 3 years time, when things start to turn around and improve, 10x your money. Some people 100x their money. Some people 1000x their money after the downturn. But you're too busy worried about how much you're going to charge per haircut. You're not even thinking about the big picture. I thought y'all wanted financial freedom. I thought y'all wanted generational wealth. I thought you guys wanted to change your life. Guys, I want you guys to be able to make money not cutting hair. That's when you're really doing it. When you're able to build enough income streams from passive assets, not from 25 other jobs, but from assets and from your own money. You're able to do that, and it surpasses your active income. You're in a great place. You're not done. A lot of people, they get in that situation, all of a sudden they want to get a Lamborghini. In my opinion, I'm not done there. I need abundance. I need FU money. But imagine if you get to this place where you're making enough passive income that surpasses your active income. You keep your active income, and that passive income keep snowballing and investing into more assets, and some of your active income keep pumping it into the passive stuff. Before you know it, guys, you'll be in an amazing place. You got to think to yourself, you're working really hard. What can disrupt my lane? I got tunnel vision. Something could literally get in my way and take me off of the road, and then I'm done. All that driving was for nothing. So I just wanted to make this video to point out that concern. Don't be in a rush to raise your prices, guys. I was saying about my barber's prices. We got guys that charge 25 and their average ticket's 45, 50 bucks. We don't care what we advertise. It's stupid anyways. Bragging on your Instagram that your clients see about how much you charge for a haircut. It's stupid. You imagine any other professional that provides a service bragging about how much they charge? It's one thing to goals that you reached and how much money you've made. I think that's acceptable. And the reason why is because when I see, let's say, a mortgage broker hit $1 million, I'm happy for them. They must have busted their ass. They must have put in the work. They must have had a crap ton of clients that they serviced and a hell of a system to be able to make that money. Super professional, probably had crazy word of mouth, crazy marketing. You don't think immediately this person probably took advantage of their customers or overcharged them. Imagine the same mortgage broker bragging about how they take 10% fee on their underwriting. Like, I would not want to go to that damn mortgage broker. And barbers are doing this. Guys, you can have premium, high-paying clients, even if you just charge market rates. You can turn your average client, a $25 client, to a $50 client if you have the right systems in place. You can turn a $30 client into a $60, your average client. You got systems in place and you're operating your business like your clients are worth that. Some of you guys charge $30 and you treat them like they're $30. How about you charge 30 and you treat them like they're $100? You might be able to get that type of bread. You got to do now to become what you want to become. You don't start doing things that are required to be the type of person you want to be when you become that person. That makes no sense. If you want to charge premium prices, you got to start giving premium services at $25, at $30, whatever the market rate is, and let the demand prove to you what kind of premium rates you should be at. But you guys don't want to do that. Really, this is what it really looks like. So this black line, this is me. And if you notice, it's slow and steady. Slow and steady. I got a plan. I'm sticking to it. I'm focused. But it's going to snowball. It's going to snowball. People are going to see overnight success. They're going to see this skyrocket. They think it's overnight success. They think you figured something out. Oh, at this point, he must have figured something out. That's why he went up like that. That's why he came up. He must have been learning and figured something. No, this was all part of the plan, stupid head. These other guys, this is what they want to do. All of a sudden, humbled. Boom. But then they go again. And they're like, boom. But then again, humbled. Something happens. Then they get here. Boom. And this is how it's going to be most of their life. At some point, may get a little bit higher at all these points. This is what people don't realize. At all these points, it's apartment. They moved out of their parents' house, nice apartment. They got a nice car. They started going on vacations. The drip started getting crazy. Okay, they realized, man, I gotta save some money. So they start to save a little bit of money. They get a girl or a wifey, start spending money on her. Like, these are the points where they start feeling themselves and they spend money. This is what ends up being their savings. We're gonna use red as the savings. So this is me. My lifestyle is going to stay here. It might creep up just a little bit. Right? That's what my lifestyle might look like. But look at from here to here is cash that I don't spend, that I can dump into assets when a recession hits. This is what the other guys do. The green is their revenues, and this is what how they spend their money. It literally follows the same line. Because you get excited about money. Want it quick. You think, oh yeah, I figured it out. And then you get humble and you realize I gotta stop spending so much money. And oh, I figured it out. I'm trying to be like everybody on Instagram. Let me show out. This is what it looks like. Then you get here and you're like, it's not working. I've been at this for years now. I've seen it almost working, but it's not quite working. I gotta do more. I gotta do something different. And this is what they start thinking in their head. Maybe if I pull out the McLaren or the Lambo or the big house, when they hit this pinnacle again, right? So now they're gonna overextend themselves. Maybe if I do that, then I'll really take off. Then there is no more dip. I'll really take off. Maybe that's what I'm missing. And no, they just burying themselves some more. Their credit gets jacked, their bankability gets jacked, and then they gotta humble themselves again. All of a sudden, that car's not with them no more. It got repoed. I realized what I'm telling you guys is not sexy. It's not what you want to hear. But I've made all these mistakes. I started from being a dependent, and not dependent on my parent, dependent on the government. Dependent on AMSCOT payday advances, WIC, income, housing, food stamps. I started there. I've seen this, and I'm trying to figure this thing out. And being distracted by all the noise on social media and thinking maybe I'm doing something wrong. I'm worried about some of y'all. Man. I think it might be lack of experience and wisdom for some of y'all. I'm not trying to knock anybody. This isn't supposed to be negative. I don't see a lot of people talking about this. I wanted to kind of bring it up for discussion, man. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are, guys, in the comments. Yeah, that's all I got for y'all today. Thanks.